It's time. I don't even know what volume we're on, but it's time. I don't know how many we got these palettes. I feel like I haven't even really been buying palettes, but somehow we have palettes to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into this palette ranking. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So it is time for another palette ranking. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 palettes. So that's a good little number. I have 10 palettes that actually I have organized into some rankings, but everything I like. I like all of these palettes. And I think I like all of these palettes because I tend not to buy makeup that I don't like anymore, or I try not to. I mean, it's going to happen because clearly, like, you're going to buy something, you're like, oh my God, it looks so great. And then you try it out and it's like, well, that was just a waste of time and money. But everything I truly like. So let's see. I'm so carried away. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but please just call me Ash or Ashley, and eyeshadow is my jam. It is my favorite thing to talk about on my channel. So also, if you're wondering if you think my hair looks a little shorter or looks a little different, I did have a trim on my sister locks. So it is a tiny bit shorter, but it's not too short, but I'm enjoying how it looks because I think it looks pretty full because it's kind of like getting your ends trimmed. You know, I had like a lot of different varying lengths from when I started my locks. I do have a video about that, just so if you're wondering. Okay, let me go ahead and get into this ranking. So as far as I know, Kelsey Brianna J is the originator when it comes to ranking anything. Ranking concealers, ranking lipsticks, ranking foundations, ranking eyeshadow palettes. She was the first person I ever saw do any type of ranking video, but they're just so much fun. I think it puts a lot of things in perspective, like what do you love more, what do you not love more. But then I feel like at the same time, it's kind of hard for me to rank these palettes because I think I have 3 this time. They're in a similar color story, but usually the things are not in color stories or the same color story. So it's kind of hard to say like you like this one over this one, but certain things might have your heart more at the moment than others. So that's where we are. But the palette number 10, I am going to start off actually with palette number 10. So we have Taste of Guava. So palette number 9 and 10 kind of go together. This was actually gifted to me. So this was sent via PR and I was actually quite impressed. This is sent by Dee Dee Signature and this is Taste of Guava and it's part of her Sister collection. Now, to me, I did say this in my video and I was like, okay, I think we need to up the packaging because it's kind of obvious with this kind of film over it that, you know, it kind of just brings the aesthetic down. I don't mind this type of imagery, but it just doesn't look very sharp and focused and it doesn't give the brand an elevated brand because it's kind of like judging a book by its cover. The shadows are really great. I put them on, I was like, oh, excuse me. They're sparkly, they apply well, they're not chunky, they're very pigmented, and they look wet, they look foiled. It's like, these are some really great shadows. So I think for me, I didn't use this particular matte because I was like, the pink and the green matte, not really for me. But these 3 shades I definitely went in with, had a time with. I had good longevity and I really enjoyed using this. And I think I'm definitely reaching back in. So this particular palette, I did not get to use again. I usually do use them again, but it's definitely something that's been on my radar. I've been kind of digging in the crates, as you would say, with some of my other palettes that I felt like, I was like, dang, did I even touch these palettes in the year of 2023 when I pulled out and did my palette declutter? So I've been focusing on a lot of new and old, but this one is definitely like something that I will be using. And I was very impressed with the shadows. And then the second one I have here, this is also sent to me, was the Blooming Basket. So this is coming in at number 9. All of that's really pigmented, really blendable, easy to work with. So here we go. I think as far as the shimmers, like, so I feel like this shimmer is kind of like the star of the show. I think you saw a lot of people kind of floating around on Instagram using this. And without, I mean, like, Cherry Blossoms is like just that gorgeous shade. It's really high reflective. Like it actually kind of goes with my outfit. Now I did film this look, just in case you're wondering. I'm working on a video putting together like cool tone looks. So you will see that this look in that particular video, because this is kind of like working the cool tones with, you know, the warm tones. That's what I'm trying to say. But I feel like we had a really good selection. This mustard was just like chef's kiss, especially on my complexion. I love a mustardy shade, but sometimes it just gets lost. It gets lost in my skin tone. It's like, oh, it was mustard. Now you don't really see it's mustard. It went away. But this gave mustard. Very impressed. It's kind of like one of those things, just don't judge a book by its cover. I don't know too much about the owner. I know like they're a Black owned business. They were out for a while, came back. I did get one comment on my video saying that she's a horrible person and I'm unsubscribing from you. I was like, okay, you're unsubscribing from me. All right. But I don't know anything that DD Signature has done to anybody, so I cannot judge her by anything like that. I don't know the backstory, haven't heard anything, but I don't know how people feel about the brand or anything that she's done in the past, so I'll just go ahead and say that. Now, coming in at number 8 is Glaminatrix Cosmetics Pretty in Pastels. This was actually sent to me as well. I do have a code with Glaminatrix. It's Dr. Ash. I have recently become affiliate, but you know, I've bought plenty palettes in the past, and I saw this palette and I was like, okay, it's pretty, but it's pastel. So I'm scared. But then I was like, I think we're going to be okay. And I actually like the way it opens. First of all, I like the packaging. It's sleek. It's a heavy, thick, substantial cardboard. You know, you definitely have like the holochrome, dual chrome effect going on with the packaging. You have a nice mirror. And I like how it kind of opens like this. Or you can open it kind of like a book. Do as you please. But I love the color progression of this palette. So I did talk about this palette versus the Blend Bunny Sickly Sweet, and I prefer this. And even though the Sickly Sweet has mattes that you're able to like ground the look in or provide depth, especially important on my particular skin complexion, I felt like this one gave more to offer. Plus the shimmers in here are fantastic, okay? You have so many options. Yes, there's a red, but it provides a beautiful fiery tone. I saw some comments on Instagram and people were like, why are there such a deep row? Hello, if you're a person of color, you need this to participate in the pastels, okay? You need this row to participate in this palette because it's not gonna work, okay? Otherwise, it's like you're making it work, you're trying to make it work, it's not gonna work. This palette to me, I felt like I did not have to make it work. I was very satisfied with every single look that I created. I have depth. The only row that I didn't really fool with was like this one, but I could pop this on the lid. But this one gave enough depth. The shadows were great. The great Glaminatrix formula. I love the deep row. And I think that's really great that they did that. And, you know, they do have a large person of color following because Glaminatrix is out of Australia. And if you know anything about Australia, the indigenous people of Australia are about my color, Aborigines. So there are a lot of people who love that brand, and I felt like that was really great. It was inclusive. It stayed true to the pastel spirit of the palette, but gave you some options where you're not like, oh my God, it's cute, but I'm trying to make it work. It gave you like, I could do something with that. And the shimmers are great because I feel like they weren't struggled. They're very shimmery. They're very opaque. Okay. And you get a lot, Casey. You get a lot of options. You hear my phone ringing. Sorry. So once again, love this so much. I thought this was really great for springtime and pastels done right. So I really appreciate it. Now coming in at number 8, this is like a eat your words type of moment. This is like, I wasn't, but then I did because it was living in my mind rent free. And I just put a video out on it, but I've used the palette a couple of times prior to doing this video. And I'm just like, I mean, you knew the formula wasn't going to be bad. You knew the formula was going to be on par, up to par. And if it wasn't, I'm going to be coming for your neck because like, it's just no reason. Like, why isn't the formula any good? But the color story, and the thing is, if you know me, you know I love gray mattes. You know I love these type of tones. So why wouldn't I indulge in a palette? So, living rent-free in my mind for a couple of months, okay? So I bought this as a Valentine's Day treat to myself because, you know, I was just like, I want this. I like it. And my justification for not purchasing this palette was that I had the ColourPop Smoke Show palette. Yes, I think now it's called Blowing Smoke, but I had the Smoke Show palette because I had the original OG. And the original OG palette, I used it, I think, New Year's Eve. And I'm just like, beautiful color story, but the formula is not really hitting. And if you saw my declutter video, I actually decluttered it. And I had this in my mind, like, I'm going to get this. So it's a beautiful color story. And that's why I said, honey, if the formula wasn't correct, like, what's happening here? Because you know it's Natasha Denona, so the formula is going to be nice. So I don't have to explain about that. I think we all know about the cream to mattes, the whatever she wants to call these mattes. It's matte formula, cream to powder, creamy mattes, just regular mattes, shimmers, crystal shimmers. And yes, you look at it and it's all gray, and I do see a hint of blue in there, and we're not going to debate. It's not going to be like the dress where it's white and gold or blue and black. I saw white and gold. Remember that dress? I saw white and gold. At the time I had foot surgery, my mother said, you must be high off them painkillers. And I was like, but I'm not. I see white and gold. I still see white and gold to this day. So I know people say they see a smidge of pink. Maybe with Snowbound. I see a little purpley blue. A little blue here. Definitely different shades of gray. Night Sky is deeper in terms of navy blue, black, pewters, of course, silvers. But you have a lot of variety here. You do have a lot of variety. So I'm really impressed. I'm loving it. I've had fun playing with it. And I'm having fun playing with it even in the springtime because, you know, I feel like the cool tones are here. They're not disappointing. I'm happy I purchased it. That's it. That's it, okay? Now, so where were we at? 7? So number 7, we have Sorcerer's Smoke. This is a palette like, should I get it? Should I not get it? Should I get it? Oh man, I missed the first pre-order. Oh man, I missed the second pre-order. Okay, let me get my life together and get it on this pre-order. So I finally picked up the Sorcerer's Smoke by Unearthly Cosmetics, especially after I tried the Dreamer palette that came out around Christmas, because I hadn't bought anything from Unearthly Cosmetics in such a long time. And I had a lot of palettes from when they were technically Alien Cosmetics, but this is gorgeous. This is a spicy neutral, as I call it. So I do have a video on spicy neutrals. I'm here for the spicy neutrals. I'm here for the cool tones. I'm here for the color. I'm here for the spicy neutrals. I'm here for the pastels. I am here for the different types of eyeshadow palettes that have been hitting the market lately. Beautiful, curated color stories. That is this. I feel like I could go out of town and take this palette with me and be very happy. I can get brown looks. I can get deep and dark, sultry looks. I can get everyday, airy looks, or just looks I like to wear. So the formula is so nice. I feel like the tones are just so nice on my skin complexion. And you know, I'm a fan of green. I love some green shadows. So I'm not upset. Beautiful. The cardboard is heavy. It feels substantial. This rebranding is great. Now I saw the new palette. What is it? Spring Magic. And it looks really beautiful. But I'm like, okay, we're getting expensive here. That's $78. And the blush palette is so gorgeous. But I'm just like, the blush palette is like 32 or 40. I'm like, okay. We're talking over $100. What's happening here? I don't know if I can participate. So we'll figure it out. But this baby, I stand by it, okay? And I do plan on doing a video because I know a lot of people are like starting to get their palettes, and I love providing inspiration. It doesn't always have to be what's new because people have stuff laying around in their, you know, their collection or things that they recently bought and they haven't used it. And I feel like we should use our palettes, okay? Even if you got a lot, use them, okay? Because honestly, it's just gonna sit there and collect dust. All right, coming in at number 6, this palette is a new brand. And honestly, I really, really like this palette. I don't know if it should be number 6, but it's number 6 lined up with a couple other things that I've been enjoying as well. But this is a new brand that I took a chance on. And this is the Krypton Cosmetics Burnt Forest palette. And I saw the color story, then I saw the swatches. Once I saw the swatches, I said, oh yes, ma'am, this is for me. Do you see this? It is murky, it is fiery, it has so much to give. Look at these multi-chromes, and let me tell you something. The formula is impeccable. The shades show up. The only shade that I did not use was this shade, but of course you can use it as a lid shade. This shade was about my complexion, but it did work nicely as a blending shade and kind of provide a little bit of structure. This shade right here is such a great deep brown because you can literally put it on and it can be very vibrant, very pigmented, very bold. That's what I'm trying to say, very bold. Or you could just kind of keep blending to blend it down where it's not such a bold brown and it's more skin tone or more transitioning and it gives a look. The green, all of the mattes. First of all, this green actually shows up and looks like that color on my complexion, which I'm very impressed about. The black is very smooth. Of course, you can use that to deepen. All of the shimmers are very beautiful. I love this little pop of blue, this little starry blue, and all of the shimmers, I feel like these two are somewhat similar, but they're very much different in terms of shifts. Because I feel like sometimes with multi-chromes, like you put things in, they start shifting a certain way, and then you put them with your other mattes, and if the color story is similar together, it's just like, well, it really looks like one shade, not two, you know what I mean? So I feel like the color story was well planned out. Customer service was really good with the brand. Also, she had a couple of snafus with trying to, you know, set up her PayPal account. I wanted to use the discount code. I did not know it was a discount code. I was just trying to hurry up, get my palette. So before they sold out. And she responded, she was like, hey, my PayPal account is new. I'll save you a palette to the side if you can't afford to just go in and make another purchase with the discount code. She ended up refunding me my money through her own personal PayPal until PayPal said it was okay. And she said she'll get her money back from PayPal. But I feel like she really took care of her customers. And that says a lot as a new brand. So I'm really excited to see what else she comes out with. The formula was just beautiful, gorgeous. I like the packaging. I feel like it just goes with the aesthetics of the brand. And the shipping was fast. And she's out of China. The brand is vegan. They're cruelty free. So fabulous. Nothing to say bad about this. So if you had your eye on this, I think right now it's on a pre-order. I would just say go ahead and do it. Now, this palette does look like another palette. I think there are some similarities, which I'll point out in a second when I talk about one of the palettes that's coming up a little bit later, but I don't want to spoil it. So that was number 6. So this is coming in at number 5. This is the Tina Fancy Face times Odin's Eye Legendary Diversa Collection Collab Round 2 Earthwood palette. First of all, how gorgeous is this? Congratulations, Tina, on another beautiful collaboration. Now, I felt like this is very colorful and neutral at the same time. The basis of the palette is neutral. It doesn't look like it, but it is. And so it's like how you put those shadows together. And once again, when it comes to Odin's Eye, we have a beautiful, beautiful multi-chrome. The one right here, which is called Beauty. And it just sets the palette off. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate how she put this color story together. The mattes are really fun and playful to work with. And the shimmers are really nice. I have really been enjoying this palette. Now, I don't know if this particular collab got the hype that the first Legendary Diversa collab got, but I think like she did a really fabulous job and I have no complaints about this. And like, oh my gosh, the packaging it's just top tier. It really is. Like, now here I go with these sleeves. I'll be all fine with them until I start doing videos. Number 4 would be a sister palette to Tina's, which is Annette's. This is the Mighty Monster palette. This is her second go round, also with the Legendary Diversa. Very pretty as well. Like, it's punchy, it's bold, it's neutral. The shimmers are really pretty. You get a lot of different options. You can get sunset looks, you can get cool tone looks, you can get vibrant looks, colorful looks, neutral looks. So I really feel like there's something here for everybody. Once again, the multi-chrome in here, Glow Vortex, like stunning, just absolutely beautiful, and it did not disappoint. I was very happy and pleased about the way these particular palettes performed, because lately, I don't know, Oda's Eye, I don't know, the formula for me was just really off with the collab that Lauren Mae Beauty did, and Batty Bean, and Makeup Just for Fun. No, I think that's my subscriber. I always say that she has a palette. Hey girl, I wish that upon you. You can make your own palette. But you know what I mean. So I just felt that that formula was really awesome. I kind of like took a back from Oden's Eye because I just wasn't sure, because I was so disappointed about those two particular palettes. But the color stories are beautiful, but the formula just gets that up. And then I know my friend Kara says she has an issue with, like, a lot of times the shimmers and getting really hard pan. Now, just so you know, on my eyes, like I said, I did film this look earlier. I do have on the Oden's Eye Christmas Eve palette. And I bought this the first time it came out, which was back in 2022. And I've had no issues with hard panning or anything. So I think that sometimes they just have a consistency issue that I hope they work out. But these I'm very excited about. And they were different. Very happy. Judy's palette to me was really gorgeous, but it was pastel. Not a lot of anchoring shades in there, so I went ahead and passed on that one. Now, this is palette number 2. Oh, so freaking gorgeous. Like, they, to me, like, they're expensive, but they've been killing the color stories. I've been having so much fun, and I find myself always wanting to use a palette by them lately. And this is the Inslee Rain Groovy Garden. I feel like I could take this palette with me out of town. I would be so satisfied. I have so many options to work with. Do you see this color story? And I love the background. I know it's AI, and I know it's been a lot of issues with the AI, and I do understand how it impacts the artist or actual artist, because I guess parts of things are pulled in. But I hope they can find some type of common ground, and maybe our artist can provide some type of motif or aesthetic like this, because I really like what it does to these palettes. I really like how it looks against the shadows, and it just brings a whole entire vibe to the palettes. Like, when I pull these palettes out, like the Groovy Garden, the Harvest Moon, the Cold Moon, like, I get a feeling with the artwork and the shadows like how I feel about when I open up a Mothership palette by Pat McGrath Labs. Like, it's just like, whoo, it's a lot going on with the packaging, and it's exciting, it's inviting, and wants to bring you in. And then when you open up the shadows, it's just as much fun, you know, to look at. And you know you're going to get some great looks. I love how this is set up. So this one's set up a little bit different, where this one just has a row of shimmers down the middle, and then you have 2 rows of mattes. I love the matte choices because I feel like you have a lot of different options and variations. You can go either way. You can go a little bit murky. You can go a little bit more mauve. You can go a little bit neutral. You can go green, or you can just like mix them all together and have your way. All the shades, so gorgeous. I would say these two just a little bit more on a similar tone to me, that this was the most chunkiest shimmer. And let's be honest, if you were going to take this particular shimmer, we've seen this over again. I feel like we even have a shimmer like that. What palette? I want to say it was the DD Signature palette. There's even something similar to that. That is a shade that we always pretty much see in the indie beauty community. Now, Inslee Rain is not private label, but it's just like, it is what it is. So, like, we got it here. Got it here. I know I can't hold 2 things at once. And then you have it here. Okay. So another palette that I feel like, you know, it does have some similar vibes and some crossover vibes, but I do see the value of having both in my collection. would be this one. I forgot to mention it during my video of this one. You know, of course, it come to mind. We have this stunning, beautiful red in this particular palette. It's called Lava Lamp. I love both of the shades. Are they very similar? Yes. If I put them on my eyes, they were like, "You're wearing the Krypton versus the Inslee ring." Nobody's going to do that. No, nobody's going to say that. Okay. But I feel like they both serve a purpose in the palette. And then even when I did the two looks, like with this palette and this palette, one of my main looks where I come back with both eyes with the same look, they look very similar, if I must admit. And I'll try to remember to post some pictures. And so I posted it to my Instagram back to back, and I was like, almost looks like the same palette, same look, but there were two different palettes. So I could definitely see it's a lot of crossover, but like I said, I definitely find the value in having both. And this palette, definitely the shimmers in here lean a little bit more green. As for like, I feel like the garden tone, this one is burnt forest, so you do have some deeper, darker colors because she also like imports from the sky in those particular tones, and you have a black. But overall, I love it. I've been using it so much. I have so much fun. The formula is just good. And it's one of those things like my friend Jamie, I don't think I've watched her video yet, but she was texting us as she was filming it. She was like, this ain't supposed to be that good. So this is her first Inslee palette. She was like, this when I put the mattes on, it wasn't supposed to be blending like this. I'm like, I know it's good. So it's worth the price point because it is pricey, and the shipping is pricey because there's plenty of discount codes out there from influencers. But by the time you take on the shipping, it was just like $14. It's like, what's happening here? You know, so, but I would say everything has been worth it. I immensely enjoy this palette. I pick it up, I look at it, I'm like, yes, I have fun. I feel inspired to create. And those are things that you want makeup to bring you. Like, those are the things that you want to feel, especially when you're a makeup collector or you're in a space like how I am, or if you're watching, because I know we got a lot of eyeshadow palettes, okay? We are not like the girls who get 1 or 2 palettes and work with it and stay with it. They might love makeup, but we are all like on some next level stuff, and there's nothing wrong with what they do. Sometimes I wish I could be on that spectrum. I'm like, I remember back when I was on that spectrum. Like, I love makeup immensely, but if I had colors, I'd be like, no, I already have those colors. Now I'm just like, just give it to me, but within reason, okay? Because I got to be loyal to my wallet, okay? I got financial goals, okay? Now, number 1, okay? Oh, this palette was sent to me too. Oh, look at your girl, okay? But all thoughts are always my own, even if something is sent to me. And this is from my beloved Adept Cosmetics, okay? This is the Flying Fiddles. Okay, first of all, I meant to say spicy neutral. Spicy neutral. If you saw my video on spicy neutrals, yes, loving the spiced out neutrals. Spicy neutrals. Take this palette with you anywhere you want. You're getting colorful, you're getting glam, you're getting everyday. It's beautiful. Flying Fiddles, baby. She did not disappoint. First of all, I got a notification that I was getting this palette before the palette even, like the reveal even happened. I was like, she's sending me the palette. I don't even know what it looks like. So this is like the second time I've gotten PR from Adept. Kind of like the third time, because when she had the Amulet New palette, which is one of my favorite palettes. Ooh. That's like top 5 for me. Okay, so she sent me some testers because she was having issues with them breaking in transit. But honey, back to the Flying Fiddles. She is gorgeous. I don't have anything bad to say about this palette, okay? Because first of all, you're giving mauve, you're giving brown, you're giving spiced out mauve, you're giving like the deeper brown, you got the pop of turquoise right here. So literally you could create a look and you're like, is that the Flying Fiddles palette? Because it actually looks like a colorful look. You got the multi-chromes, you have the beautiful Adept formula. This is another palette I have been enjoying so much this year. Like, in my brain, rent-free. Like, have to stop myself from using it. Like, use something else, actually. Because like I said, I'm like, it's so many palettes last year I feel like I did not get a chance to use, but also I really wasn't wearing makeup for a long time. But I'm like, my goal is to touch just about everything in my collection this year, okay? At least once or a couple of times. But this right here is just, it has my heart. I just love it. It's number one. And I just really love the Adept formula. Now, I will say I did not get the Cyborg Choir because I just really wasn't, I thought it was pretty, but I really wasn't feeling it. And I really felt like it looked like Element 115, which I enjoy so much. So, I mean, maybe one day I might pick it up, but right now I did not pick it up, if you're just wondering. But this is number one. Because, honey, if she wasn't sitting in it, I was buying it. So, I think the Cyborg Choir is like the only palette that I have not purchased. Yeah, because I have Plain Jane. I don't have the original Plain Jane. No, I do. Do I? No, I have Plain Jane Remastered. I didn't get the Plain Jane because that's when she first started. And, you know, she would sell out in like 2 seconds. And I did not get my hands on that one. But basically everything after that I have. So these are the palettes. So many good choices. I'm so glad that like the things that I'm bringing into my collection are making sense. They're bringing me a lot of joy because I have a lot of makeup. And I know you do too. So we want to make sure that these things are bringing joy. And I'm glad to say that everything has performed very well. And these are like things that's been like in the heavy rotations. And I'm still going to be doing palette rotations so you can see me use some of these palettes in action. I'm still going to, I've also started posting over on Instagram. So if you don't follow me over there, it's Dr. Ash and her makeup, where I'm doing like a palette recap. So just like palettes, I'm kind of doing a real palettes that I've been using. I like to put it as some fun music. I love music, if you guys didn't know. So I've just been enjoying all of this stuff lately. So it just makes me happy. All right. So let me know, what was your favorite palette? Do you have any of these palettes? Let me know down below in the comments. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chair Dance. Chair Dance. Hey, 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 Chair Dance. Chair Dance. Hey, Chair Dance. All right, y'all. Bye.